Hi everyone, it's great to be joined by Susanna, the CEO and co-founder of Onefile. I know you've advertised yourselves on LindSak, and it's great to have you here. Susanna, I suppose for people who haven't heard of Onefile, how would you describe what you do, where you fit into the market?
Thanks, Zach. So I'm, as you said, I'm CEO and co-founder of Onefile. We founded Onefile, it will be 12. The first learner went on nearly 16 years ago next year from our back bedroom. And basically I was working in the apprenticeship sector, going to nursing homes, assessing in nursing homes in social care. And I was seeing that was a really inefficient way of doing it on paper. I was traveling long distances. I wasn't able to get visibility of the learners' work. And I dreamed of having sort of this tech solution to be able to solve the problems, make it more engaging for the learners, make it more cost efficient for the companies delivering the apprenticeships, make the employers being able to see what was happening. And we had a bit of a light bulb moment with my partner, and yeah, Onefile was born. So we're now used by over 700 training providers, colleges, universities and employers directly. And yeah, so it's been a fantastic journey, and we're incredibly proud to be supporting the apprenticeship sector, especially at this time more than ever.
Well, I suppose it is. It's so important with the need of remote delivery, that blended approach. And Susanna, I suppose and there's a number of things you've mentioned there. What was the biggest problem that you identified as Onefile within the apprenticeship sector?
So more recently, what we've seen, because we have our e-portfolio and our learning hub for the delivery of the apprenticeship standards, which is incredibly successful, and our customers are seeing huge benefits of using that. But sort of in the last few years, we were talking to our customers, and we were talking about the new sort of RPL funding adjustment that people have to do. So before you even sign up an apprentice, we need to understand what the starting point is of that applicant. What have they already got? What do they already know? What have they already done? And then the funding should be adjusted in the background accordingly. So if it's a £9,000 top funded apprenticeship, then really, if somebody's got some prior knowledge, you might need to reduce that by £1,000 and reduce the time spent on that. And from talking to our customers, a lot of them either weren't doing it at all, and they were just claiming top funding for every single learner, or what they were saying is they were doing it, but it was very ad hoc. So it wasn't standardized across the team. It was very sort of back of a fag packet or back of a vape packet, I suppose. Calculation, it's not standardized. So one person would do it one way on one conversation, but somebody else would have calculated a completely different amount with the same learner. And of course, then that isn't auditable. So if the ESFA come in and audit that, there isn't an audit trail of that. Also, we were talking to employers, and employers were starting to say, do you know what? We know that we're supposed to be able to negotiate on our funding, but nobody's coming to us and negotiating. They're just claiming the top funding band. Why is that? We're just signing it off, but we know that there is supposed to be this process we're going through. And then just last month, the Department for Education published some research that had been done talking about the problems that these employers and the training providers were having about the recognition of prior learning and the adjustment of the funding. And again, that sort of backed up what our customers were saying to us.
So if you're looking at, because I know you guys have got the RPL funding calculator, so how does that solve that? Where does that fit into the journey?
So what the RPL funding calculator does is it helps standardize the process. It makes it more efficient and time saving, and therefore cost saving, so saving money as well. What the training provider is able to do is in the background, right at the beginning, they're able to put in the sort of the adjustments that would be needed. So the weightings for different delivery, and that would be completely different for every single provider. So they're able to go in and bespoke that in the background per standard that they're delivering. The applicant will then go in, and the applicant will then score themselves on their recognition of prior learning. They're able to upload evidence, so they're able to upload certificates or maybe conversations with their employer to back up what they're saying. And then as they're scoring themselves in the background, the funding calculator is adjusting the funding on a standardized methodology behind the scenes. Because also what some and that gives you the starting point then as well for the learner, because obviously beyond the funding, the curriculum should be adjusted based on the starting point. So Zach, for example, if you scored yourself an 8 on a specific knowledge in an apprenticeship and I scored myself a 2, we shouldn't start, our starting point isn't the same. I need to start at a much more basic learning level than you would.
It'd be the other way around, Susanna. I'd be on the 2.
You're very kind. And also what we were hearing is often that this process was happening after the learner had been signed up and enrolled. Whereas actually, if the applicant is overqualified, they shouldn't be doing it that level in the first place. So actually it was having a conversation. So where somebody might come up with a level 2 and it says you're too overqualified, then a conversation can be had and say, well, actually you should be on a level 3. But if that's happening after the sign up process, it's too late then. And, why is that? Why is that happening? So, like I said, it's proven, it's showing that it's saving time, it's saving money, it's more auditable, and it's standardized.
And it's great because from the way you've described it, it's almost something that you can build into your sales function, your induction function as well, and it liaises with all 3 parties involved quite easily, which is great. So I suppose in terms, obviously we're in a lockdown at the moment. How's it been trying to build and launch a new product over lockdown?
Yeah, it's been a really fascinating experience, actually, and not one, obviously, that we've ever had to do, because our dev team has never been remote. They've always been in the office and been together. Obviously, there was initial panic. I think like everybody did. Goodness, how are we all going to work from home? What's the communication going to be like? What's the collaboration going to be like within the squad, but then between the teams as well at Onefile? But we've definitely found benefits, which has been great. So the feedback overall from the entire company has been overwhelmingly more positive an experience than it was pre-lockdown, actually. We've seen communication and collaboration increasing. We've brought tech in to help us communicate with each other and collaborate with each other. So using Teams and other software, we're able to work together. We're able to sort of have conversations and put ideas out there. And one of the great things that we found during all of this is when you have a group Teams call, a meeting, you're able to record it. So when somebody isn't able to attend for whatever reason, they can catch up on that knowledge share and what the decisions that are made, rather than having it sort of secondhand through a conversation. So people are far more informed within the organization. I mean, launching the product without being able to visit the customers has been really interesting. And obviously we've had to be more innovative and come up with ideas on how to sort of let customers know that the product is there. But the RPL funding calculator has also been designed to be a standalone product. So you don't have to be a Onefile customer to use it. So you could be using another ePortfolio provider, but you could use RPL funding calculator on its own with your ePortfolio, your other ePortfolio. So again, it's how do we get out there to people that aren't our customers, that we don't have the details of, to let them know.
Which is brilliant.
That's why we want to advertise with people like you guys.
No, but it's great to know, because sometimes you'd assume that actually I could only use the RPL calculator if I'm a Onefile customer. But what you're saying is actually it doesn't matter who you're using. If you want it to be cost effective, more learner responsive, and actually better in essence, and more seamless and more compliant and auditable, where it doesn't matter who you're using, calculators available for everyone. No, that's really, like I said, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I suppose the most important question, how's it been received, from the people that are using it? What kind of feedback have you been having?
So the feedback actually has been absolutely amazing. Like I said, there were providers out there that were not doing anything at all. So for them, it was just like, goodness, we don't even have to create the process ourselves. Here's a pre-made process that we can just pick up out the box and start using, which was great. And they're able to see straight away how it's going to streamline their process and make it quicker, easier, more engaging for the learner. So again, people are sort of saying, oh, well, we use a spreadsheet. And it's like, well, is a spreadsheet the best sort of first impression that you want to give if you want to be seen as sort of a tech savvy company, and also cost effective? So one provider has actually said that it helps providers do the right thing by their apprentice, by the employer, and by the funding bodies, because obviously it means that the employers are going to get more for their levy as well, so they're going to get more for their spend. And another provider that's using RPL has said that they certainly worth the investment, or given all the time saving and the benefits that they've seen from using it, which is fantastic. Because again, people don't necessarily take into account, because obviously with cloud-based software, obviously there's an initial investment, but if you calculate how much time your team is taking to do something, or build a report, or to do something when it's a manual process, if you take into that account, then the return on investment happens very, very quickly, actually.
Well, and Susanna, I suppose in addition to that as well, if we're seeing that providers aren't doing this proactively, if you've got a sales function that goes to his employees and says, well, actually, you shouldn't be paying the full funding value, straight away there's a USP there, a level of trust built, because no other provider's doing it, and your levy paying employees are going to be thinking, hold up, this we are now talking ROI, profitability, bottom line, value to us, as opposed to that's what we can charge, and that's what we will charge.
Absolutely. And the ESFA have actually said that if they go into a provider for an audit and the provider has 100% of their learners and 100% of the funding, alarm bells are going to start ringing straight away.
And rightfully so.
But there's not one learner. If you've got 100 learners, you can't say there's not one learner with one little bit of recognition of prior learning that they could have adjusted the funding for. So that's when they start peeling the onion. Well, how have you done this process? And when they say, well, we haven't, well,
yeah. Or better still, here's a fag packet was on, or vape
there you
go. And Susanna, only if you're able to say, but in terms of pipeline, I mean, the RFL funding calculator sounds great. Any more products coming up?
Yeah, so absolutely. It's been a really busy year at Onefile. And obviously listening to customer demand as well, we get a lot of customers asking us for, obviously, can you either integrate with a certain product or will you provide a certain product for us? So we've been really, really busy this year. So we've got an ILR launching hopefully next spring. A lot of our customers are asking for us to have our own ILR that they can work with. And then we also have a sort of electronic enrollment product that will be coming out early 2021 as well, so a similar time. And again, both of those you'll be able to use. We're building those as a standalone product. So if you're not a Onefile customer but you need an ILR or you need an enrollment product to feed into something else, then you can use that without buying into our e-portfolio. So a very exciting time, Zach.
No, it sounds it. And to be fair, I mean, we as a business, we're quite pro, obviously, employability and skills. So we've always got apprenticeships and traineeships. And I think the enrollment one sounds great, because sometimes I've seen the paperwork. I've seen it and had to do the paperwork. So having it electronic, again, it becomes seamless, time effective, cost effective. And business SMEs and levy paying employees are so much more used to doing things online as opposed to printing, signing.
Absolutely. And I think, having gone out, years ago and done paper-based sign-ups, that you'd always miss something. There'd be a field missing that you didn't get, or a signature missing, or something missing that you would then have to go back out to go and get. So again, just the time saving, like you say, but the accuracy as well, for getting that sign up immediately means you can sign up and get the funding quicker.
And Susanna, if someone is looking for either a new e-portfolio system to engage with the RPL, or any of your new products that are coming out, what's the best way of getting hold of you?
It's easy just go onto the website, www.onefile.co.uk, and just book a demo, or just go to the contact us form. We've got a very friendly team, all just waiting to hear from you.
No, perfect. Honestly, Susanna, massively appreciate your time. Thanks for having a chat with us. And for any providers, colleges looking at transforming their delivery using technology, interested in the RPL funding calculator, get in touch with Susanna and the team.
Thank you.
Take care.